Hey there. Somebody asked me recently on Twitter if I could show how to create a Twitter search that would then save the results that come up into a spreadsheet in Google Sheets and use Zapier to do it. So I figured I would go ahead and show how to do this. I'm going to be using a few things here. I'm going to use Zapier. So we can go to my Zaps. We're going to end up creating a new Zap that will search Twitter for people mentioning certain keywords. And then we're going to save those keywords or the results of those keywords to a new spreadsheet. So I'm going to go ahead and create my new spreadsheet. And that way, maybe you could use this for a few things. I mean, you could do this to collect, let's say, people looking for job listings. So if you wanted to look for companies that were tweeting or people tweeting about jobs that might match your certain criteria, or let's say you want to search for local news that affects your neighborhood. Maybe you put in some streets around you. You could use it to keep up with mentions of your name online or people who mention your website. So actually, that's what I'm going to do in this case. We're going to set up a Twitter search that will get anybody who mentions anything around CFPs, because I run a CFP website called CFP Land. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, first, I'm going to show you something that a lot of people don't know in Twitter. There's this thing called an advanced search. So twitter.com/search-advanced. And I think there's a way to get to it through the UI, although it's a little bit confusing. So what you can do with the advanced search is you can do all these different kinds of filters. Like all of these words must be in it, or an exact phrase must be in it, or any of these words, or none of these words, certain hashtags. You can filter by language. You can say they're from specific accounts or to specific accounts. So if you want to collect mentions of certain accounts, you can do that as well. You can filter out replies, things with links or without links. So you could, if you wanted to look for job listings, you could use this to get only tweets with links. This can be really useful for a lot of things. You can, and then the engagement stuff's interesting too. So if you want to make sure that things have a certain number of replies before you put them into your sheet, you could do that as well. So a lot of cool things you can do with this. You can think of all sorts of interesting stuff to build with Twitter as your sort of data source, and then connecting that in through Zapier to a spreadsheet or to Airtable. Lots of good stuff there. But I am just going to do a couple things here. I'm going to look for all of these words, CFP, and the exact phrase call for proposals. So let's search. Now, the important thing to do here is to note how Twitter created this. So we're going to let's go ahead and create our Zap. So we'll go to Zapier. We will create a Zap, and we will do Twitter as our trigger. Let's say a search mention. Okay. And now you have to link your Twitter account. I'm going to do it from, I'll just do this one from my personal account, but you could do it from a business account. Now, Twitter will customize the results based on who is the person searching. So keep that in mind. It supports, so when it says it supports query operators, that's the things that Twitter is putting here. So these operators are all the things that show up in here. You also can note the URL changes as you look for things. So this is also another way to kind of tell what all Twitter has applied to a specific search. Anyway, I'm just going to do the same search here. Hit continue. Okay, let's test this trigger, and it's going to find some recent entries. Okay, found a few. Now, there's a lot of data in each tweet. Kind of surprising. Tweets are just like a little bit of text and a little bit of a link and maybe the user who created it, but actually Twitter includes a ton of data here. So we're going to, in the next step, when we grab the data we actually care about, we'll filter through that and look at it. Okay, so in Zapier, we've got search mention. So whenever that specific key phrase that I put in is mentioned, CFP with call for proposals, then what do we want to do? And let's do a Google Sheet. So we're going to create a spreadsheet row. That means every time this mention happens, that we're going to add a new row to that spreadsheet. Use this account, and let's call this tweet tracker. I'm going to refresh real quick because I think Zapier is going to need to go search for that spreadsheet. I can't remember when that happens. Maybe I didn't need to refresh, whatever. Nope, spreadsheet. There's tweet tracker. Worksheet, I think we can just do sheet one. Didn't see any headers. Okay. So let's see what data we want to collect. Let's do the URL, the text, and the user who tweeted it. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So what's cool is Zapier knows that that first row is headers. And so basically here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the URL to the tweet itself as the URL field. For the text, we are going to do the text of the tweet. So I think full text is probably what we want, but there's a couple different text fields, so you may have to play around with that. And then we can do, I think username is what we want. Like I said, there's a lot of fields, so filtering through it is kind of a pain sometimes. Okay, yeah, let's do username. And if you want to make sure people know it's a username, you can put @ in front of it. Okay, let's continue. And now you can skip this test, but I'm going to actually do the test because I want to see the spreadsheet with a new row in it. Okay, so assuming that worked, there we go. We've got a new line in our spreadsheet with the link to the tweet. So we can go look at that link. Yep. There we go. Oh, this is interesting. It is looking for my key phrases or words also within the link itself, I think. Yeah, special call for proposals. Interesting. I didn't realize it would do that. Oh, no. Call for proposal is in the text there. Okay, so never mind. Okay, so anyway, that's how you do it. And now you've got your tweet tracker going. And the biggest thing you have to play around with are these advanced search. Just making sure that all the key phrases and words are set up here correctly. You can even do negative searches, I think. I think it's like, I can't remember. There's some way to do that, though, as well. So Google around. You can probably find some things with advanced search on Twitter. That's it for now, though.